You're listening to the Jewish Entrepreneur Podcast with Debbie Sasson, episode 145. Welcome to the Jewish Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Debbie Sasson. I went from being a financial advisor, author, and chronic under-earner to building my business to six figures as a financial planner and money mindset coach, and then onto multiple six figures as a full-time money and business coach. I help entrepreneurs create money-making businesses and build wealth using sales and money mindset strategies and in alignment with authentic Jewish values. Now, let's dive in to today's show. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the podcast. Today's podcast is going to be very practical. I'm going to ask you a lot of questions. I highly recommend that if you are driving, you listen and come back again and listen to this podcast with a pen and a paper or with your Google document. You will want to write down some of these questions so that you can go back and answer them afterwards. This is very important for you as a business owner when I talk about what I learned from Dan Sullivan. But before we jump into today's episode, I want to remind you that next week on September 9th, I am running a free masterclass called Meant for More. This is my best work yet, helping you as a business owner up-level, jump into the next level of success that is available to you as a business owner when you show up in full service of your people. That means your clients and your customers, and we're going to talk about them today on the podcast. But during the workshop Meant for More, you will uncover some of the things that are stopping you from inviting more clients into your world, to serving your clients more, better, on a higher level, to delivering and over to delivering them without burning out and making more money. One thing that I know that Jewish women say about their businesses is we show up and want to serve with such a big heart. We're nurturers. We have so much to give. And we think that we cannot charge a lot of money for what we do, especially the things that come to us so naturally. So first of all, what comes to you naturally does not necessarily come to somebody else naturally. And when you invite your clients to pay you, they pay greater attention to what you're offering them and the transformation that you're helping them to achieve. And when you make more money, I teach my clients to sell high ticket offers, especially in the beginning, because when you make more money, you can take care of yourself better, your family better. You have more resources, internal resources. You have more to give, both spiritually, emotionally, and monetarily. So please go to my website now and enroll for that free masterclass on Monday, September 9th, debbiesasson.com/more. And I'm going to have an exciting offer for you on that workshop. All right, let's talk now about what I learned from Dan Sullivan. If you have not yet heard of Dan Sullivan, and this is your first introduction, first I have to tell you that I have never worked with Dan Sullivan as a coach, but I have lots of coaches out there on the interwebs, including, let's say, Tony Robbins, who are inspiring me and really inspire me to raise up to a higher level. And one of those coaches is Dan Sullivan. He has, I don't know how many books, tens of books. I own 3 of his books, either in the hardback copy or on my Audible, including The Gap and the Gain, 10X is Easier Than 2X, and Who Not How. I also first learned about Dan Sullivan and his 4 C's. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, the 4 C's for business growth. Let me tell you his 4 C's in order. Number 1 is commitment. Number 2 is courage. Number 3, capability. Number 4, confidence. I hear from so many business owners that if only they had more confidence, then they would do XYZ. Fill in the blank for you. Just write down now, journal exercise number 1. If I had more confidence, then. If I had more confidence, then I would do this in my business. And it's really important that you notice that Dan Sullivan puts confidence at the bottom of the list. It is the last thing that you achieve in your business. And then Newsflash, once you achieve confidence at one level, you're going to start with something new and start the cycle all over again. Before we jump in, because I want this image to be in your mind, I like to create this metaphor for my clients that these 4 C's are exactly how children, or maybe an adult, learn to ride a bicycle. And one of my clients that we were coaching on this a few months ago, it was just mind blowing for her. And she told me session after session that this metaphor has really, really stuck with her. But you think about that 5-year-old or that 6-year-old who wants to ride a bicycle without training wheels. As a mom of 8, I totally get this. And I vaguely remember, I have to brush off the dust, me as a kid, a 6-year-old wanting to ride without training wheels. That child is committed. That child bugs mommy and daddy, please, please, please take off the training wheels. I want to ride. I want to ride. That child is committed and determined. If it wasn't a C word, his four words would probably be determined, courageous. But that commitment, that determination, that conviction, we can use conviction instead of commitment, but that conviction that this child is going to be able to ride that bicycle without training wheels. And some kids are naturally more coordinated and they get it more quickly. And then there are those children that you have to hold on to the back of that bicycle day after day after day. I don't know if it really takes that long, but I do remember I have an image in my mind of my first bicycle with the banana seat. I'm dating myself. Back in the days, and my bicycle was blue, and I can really see my dad in my mind holding the back of the bicycle until I got to the stage where I could balance all by myself. And that child has to be courageous. That is step number 2. Because listen, some kids are going to fall off in the beginning, in the middle. I got into a few bicycle accidents when I was a teenager. I was riding so fast because I had that confidence that we get to at the end that I rode into the back of a car, bent the frame on my bicycle, those heavy Schwinn bicycles from the 1970s. I managed to do that because I was riding so fast. Luckily, I didn't break anything, but I flipped off the bike and somebody picked me up and brought me and my bicycle to a bicycle shop. But I digress. That child is so courageous, doesn't worry about falling down, crashing into lampposts, crashing into the walls, whatever it is, that child is just going to overcome the fear of falling down, that fear of failure. We think that fear is a bad thing when we're growing our business, but fear is part of the process. We don't overcome fear. We feel the fear and do it anyway. Thank you, Susan Jeffries, another person out there whom I've never worked with one-on-one. She just wrote a book, and that title of her book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, is another inspiration in my life. You need courage to combat fear. The fear is just going to be there. You bring it along with you on your ride, on your bicycle ride, on your business building ride, and you show up with courage. And courage doesn't feel good. We think we feel fear. What we're actually feeling is that courage inside of us to go and face the next challenge. And once you have overcome that challenge, then you become capable. Then you're riding the bicycle, and in the beginning especially, you're still a little bit wobbly. You're holding onto the handlebars. Your body is tense, and you're very, very focused on what you're doing. But what happens after capable? Then we become confident. That is when you see the kids riding with their hands up in the air. Look, Mom, no hands. And they're looking to the right, to the left, and then sometimes, of course, they end up inside a lamp pole. But you understand what I mean. We do new things every day in our life, every day in our business, and it's only when we know how to do the things. Think about driving a car. And in the beginning, you're also holding very tightly onto the steering wheel. But after you feel confidence, after you've been committed to the process, you've been courageous, you've learned, you're capable, then one day you're rolling down the window and you're sticking your hand out and you're like bouncing around, like dancing in your seat, listening to the music and singing those lyrics at the top of your lungs. That is confidence. Confidence always comes last. I think we could just close off the podcast now, but you're going to miss some of those fabulous journaling questions that I have for you. I really, really want to break down commitment. I think that courage, capability, and confidence are more self-explanatory. So we're going to spend more time talking about commitment because there are different layers of commitment in your business. The first one I want to talk about is your commitment to what you are offering. That means you need to define your target audience. Who are you serving? So many people tell me, I can serve everybody. And that probably is true. On a very broad, kind of general, broad brushstroke level, you can serve everybody. Yes, I can serve everybody in business, but I target my audience to Jewish women, and most of my audience is probably between the ages of 35 and 60. I'm 61, but one of my clients, shout out to my client who is 69 years old, and she is looking at her business every day with new eyes. Every day is like day one. She is so committed to growing her business. So I know who my clients are, and I have a very defined product or very defined service. And when you think about your business, you being able to be courageous, that comes next, and say, listen, this is what I'm focusing on, and this is what I'm choosing not to focus on. And we have talked about that on the podcast before, especially in the time management episodes that I recorded at the beginning of 2024. And you can go back and you can listen to those. But what we say no to is as important as what we say yes to. Because if I wanted to, for example, I could also do financial planning. I could also be an investment advisor and a portfolio manager for some of my clients. 2 years ago, I was holding on to two of my nearest and dearest financial planning clients. I was managing their portfolios. We had relationships that spanned over more than a decade. And because I was narrowing down the focus of my business, it was time for me to let them go. It was time for me to really transfer them on to somebody else who could serve them better with focus, because their investment advisor, financial planner, was only focused on those specific activities and not on entrepreneurship and helping women grow their businesses. So it's important for you to define who your target audience is, those clients that you serve, and how you serve them. I want to point out that your business will go through growth stages. So what I just said, and I think this is important, is that I was also financial planning. I was also portfolio managing. I was also money coaching just for clients on money issues. And I was also helping women to grow their businesses. So I had, as it were, 4 offers, which means that my focus was dispersed over several different things. And in order to grow my business and scale my business, I needed to be committed to just the one thing, which is the business coaching. And money is always a part of business. We have to ask for money, receive money, manage money, our mindset around our prices. So it's not like money coaching and business coaching are two separate things. The money coaching is part and parcel of my business coaching. So I refined, but in the beginning, it's okay to be a little bit broader. But as a coach and as a certified life coach, I can coach on weight loss. I can coach on marriage relationships. I can coach on parenting relationships because I have the skill set as a general life coach. But I never, ever marketed myself on that. I always talked about business and money in a broader sense, and then I narrowed down to business. So look at your business model today. What are you committed to in terms of defining your target audience? And how committed are you to that audience? So many business owners waste time because they're in their head thinking, oh, I could serve this person, I could serve that person. Well, I could serve women in midlife, but I also work really well with teens. I know that you work really well with all the people because you are incredibly gifted and talented, and you do have a skill set that allows you, and a commitment which allows you to serve many people. We're going to talk about marketing in just a second. You have to define who you want to work with specifically so that you can call in those people, and other people will come along into your network because they see who you are and how talented you are. I do work with men, even though all of my marketing, and I'm pretty sure that all of my emails talk about she's and hers and moms and Jewish moms. I have clients who aren't Jewish, but my marketing is always focused on Jewish women in business. So don't be afraid to be more specific about who your ideal client is. Let's move on. Commitment to serving your clients with your marketing. This is an area where women, especially, and some men, get in their own way. You have to be willing to draw attention. I use that word specifically, to draw attention to your offer. once you know who you're marketing to, who your client is, and your offer, and you have committed to that, now you have to draw attention to your offer. Not draw attention to yourself, but draw attention to your offer. Your offer is how you serve your clients. In the beginning of our businesses, many of us have an inner circle, the people who know us, and they become our first clients because we are fired up, we're committed, right? We have that inside of us. We don't even feel the fear. We're just so on fire about our businesses. Think, for example, about someone who is a reformed smoker. They are so convicted in how bad smoking is for your health that they will go out and they will tell everybody. No shame, no embarrassment, no guilt. They have drunk the Kool-Aid and they're going to tell you, if you're a smoker, how bad it is. That conviction. And that's what new business owners usually have. We show up with conviction. We talk to those people who know us, and some of them become our clients. But you know what happens after that? We have already served the people in our inner circle. It's possible that your offer can serve your inner circle for many, many years. Think about, for example, Amazon Prime. The first people who subscribed to Amazon Prime, they're probably still subscribed to Amazon Prime. I know I have been a subscriber for more than a decade, and God bless Jeff Bezos. He just keeps raising that price on me. Maybe I should cancel it when I'm not in the United States because it doesn't really help me in Israel. But every time I travel, it's just so useful. So I don't sign up and then unsubscribe in between. I just leave it there for the times. And also sometimes when my dad visits, I send him things by Amazon Prime and then he brings it. So it's useful throughout the year. But if Jeff Bezos had just relied on that inner circle, those first people who already knew about Amazon, they were the first people to subscribe, and he didn't continue drawing attention, i.e. marketing, the value of Amazon Prime, he would not have been able to expand that offer and serve more people. And then the flip side of serving more people is that he makes more money. And we all know that his company and Jeff Bezos are among the biggest businesses, and he's among the wealthiest men in the world because he showed up in service, because he knew how valuable 2-day delivery is. And it even is down to 1-day delivery and sometimes same-day delivery because he has continued focusing on serving his clients at the highest level. So you can have an offer that will continue to serve your first clients, but you have to expand the people, your pool of potential clients, by drawing awareness, by marketing to your offer. And many women tell me that they resist marketing. They feel that, first of all, drawing attention to themselves is uncomfortable, especially as women, so many of us have been taught not to draw attention to ourselves, but believing that people should just find you, right? Believing that everybody should come to you by referrals, believing that you're desperate, that people will think you're desperate if you're marketing your offer by showing up, is misguided thinking. It's a thought error because you cannot help people unless people know about what your offer is. And it's not drawing attention to you. We're not selling you. If you are a service-based business owner, yes, you are the one who is delivering the offer, the service, until your team is big enough and you can have other people on your team delivering. But it is always about what you are giving to your clients, the result you are offering them. And you're not going to show up in their house. If you're a copywriter, you are not showing up in their house and actually taking their hand and writing out the words. You are delivering to them website copy. You are delivering to them blog posts. You are delivering to them copy for their social media, or you're delivering to them scripts for their podcast. Nobody writes my scripts. I do it. But you understand what I'm saying? It's not about you. It's about the thing that you are serving. If we're thinking about a dermatologist, you have a teenager who has acne. My teenagers, there were several of them who went through that acne phase. Some of them were blessed and didn't. But I was not looking for a dermatologist who was like, wow, that's the best person on the universe. I was looking for a dermatologist, and of course, if they don't have bedside manner, we might go and find somebody else, but who could solve their problem, which was, how can you get rid of the acne? And that was what was important to me, someone who was skilled, who was an expert and an authority in their field, and could help my teenagers solve their problem. It is never about you. Don't make it about you. So here is where you can start your journaling. Ask yourself, Where am I holding back on my marketing? Why am I not willing to draw attention to my offer? Some of us think we shouldn't have to do it. People should just come to us. People should just find us. But that belief that we shouldn't have to, it's going to kill your dreams. I heard my coach say recently, I shouldn't have to has killed more dreams than, I don't remember the end of the sentence. But I also think about that in terms of marriage, is believing that you shouldn't be the one to take out the garbage, believing that you shouldn't be the one to have to remind your kids to do something, believing that you shouldn't have to do, fill in the blank again. Think about yourself just as a mom, just as a wife, as someone who is in a relationship. When you say to yourself, I shouldn't have to XYZ, it just brings up this like angst and this fight energy, and it destroys relationships. It kills dreams. If you have a dream of building a business and serving people in the world, I shouldn't have to market. I shouldn't have to let people know. They should just know about me, is killing your dreams, is killing your ability to show up and serve your people. Now listen, people will find out about you the more you show up and the more you serve. And there are people who, even if you've served your clients well, they're not going to refer you on. For some reason, people feel weird about recommending other people because maybe it worked for me, but it's not going to work for you. I don't really know. Sometimes people are great about recommending others, right? I've just told you all about Dan Sullivan's books and how fabulous they are. And maybe now you're just going to go and read them and you'll never work with me. Whatever. I hope you do work with me one day, because I do believe that one-on-one attention is way more impactful than reading books. But you can learn a lot from reading all of Dan Sullivan's books. So go out there, get them. Find Susan Jeffers' books, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, or just put that mantra up on your computer screen. People will come, but you have to be committed to letting your people know. Also, even if people hear your name, they're going to want to go and do a little bit of market research. They're going to look for a website. They're going to look for your social media posts. They're going to look for evidence that you actually exist in the world and do what you do. And they want to see social proof. So be committed to your marketing and ask yourself, where can I up-level my commitment to my marketing? For example, in my business, I just started this week running Facebook ads to my masterclass Meant for More, because I know there are people in the world whom I can serve with my masterclass. So I'm committed to learning about Facebook ads and letting more people know that I exist and that my offers exist in the world. All right, let's move on from commitment to selling. And I talk a lot about selling because learning how to sell is, again, it always comes from service. If we don't sell to the people who are looking for what we are offering, first you market, you draw them into your orbit, and then there are going to be some people who raise their hands and say, yes, I want this, but they're going to be scared. They're going to have that fear. They're not going to have all the courage to show up and say yes to you. Developing your sales skills in service of your clients because they want to. There is that voice inside of them that's saying yes. They do have that fire in their belly that says, yes, I want more. I want to take the next step. You've got to help them. You've got to help them by selling, because selling is always in service. And when you do it right, the way I teach, it's ethical. My process is sacred sales conversations, because I believe that that relationship that you have with a potential client when they get on the call with you is sacred. That person wants something, but they're feeling a little bit vulnerable, and we have to protect their humanity by relating to them in a sacred, ethical, dignified way. Not like a steamroller, not like a used car salesman who's trying to get something out of you, but you show up 100% in service. So your commitment to learning how to sell in service of your clients is a next level move in your business. Another place where you can be more committed in your business growth is committed to strategic planning. In the beginning of our businesses, we get out there, we get into the world, we throw a lot of spaghetti at the wall. And there's nothing wrong with throwing spaghetti at the wall. I have thrown more spaghetti at more walls than I can imagine in the last 15 plus years of being in business. And at some point in our business, and you don't have to do it the first week or two, but I think that the earlier, more strategic and planning, and it would have been helpful for me if I had had a strategic planning process to know what I was focusing on every quarter of the year. Or in my Wired for Wealth membership program, I talk about 100 days of planning, because as Jewish women, every quarter there is something. There's either Rosh Hashanah, a Sukkot, a Passover, a summer holiday, a bar mitzvah, a wedding, a new baby. There's always something happening. So we divide our year into 100 days. We don't do the quarterly planning thing. And that 100 days of planning is so much more effective for my clients. In fact, by the time you listen to this podcast, we will have already done our 100 days of planning workshop for September, October, November, December in my Wired for Wealth program. But being committed to thinking longer term, strategically about your business, at some point, again, you're going to stop just trying to throw spaghetti at the wall and see what works. And in the beginning, that's part of the process. This quarter, I am focusing on going out, meeting people, networking, talking, listening to them, writing things down, getting my name out there. That's a beginning process for a business, and that is part of your strategy. And then you take the information back and you analyze it. You put it into your little food processor and you make decisions about your business, and you take action. That is another level of commitment. You don't sit behind your computer waiting for things to happen to you, because you are so committed to your clients, your people, your customers whom you serve, because you're so committed to getting on that bicycle and making it go, and you're staying on top and not falling off. You're so committed that you take action. You will never, ever in a million years learn to ride a bicycle if you sit in your office behind a computer watching YouTube videos on how to ride a bicycle. Are you with me? You will learn how to ride that bicycle when you get on the bicycle. You will learn how to market your business. You will learn how to sell. You will learn how to plan. You will learn how to talk about your business when you take action. You have to be committed to action, and you have to be committed to being okay with mess ups. Right before I recorded this podcast, I sent an email to my list because I sent them an email like 10 hours ago and it had the wrong dates in it. And the title was Oops. I forgot what else I wrote, but I was like, but I owned my oops. There were 2 oops. There were 2 oopsies in the email, but that's okay. I took action and then I was able to correct it. I love to tell my clients, we're not doing open heart surgery. If there's an oops in your business, like nothing life-threatening is going to happen in your business. You made a mistake. You can always go back and correct your mistakes, and you're learning from every opportunity. So when you're committed to your people, when you're committed to your service, when you're committed to your offer, you show up. You want to attract attention to your offer and learn selling skills. So I want you to just do some journaling. What does your commitment to your customer look like right now in your business? And write it all down. Nobody's going to see it. You can send it to me by email and share it with me, but ask yourself, what does it look like? Where can I up level in my service to my client? How can I refine the way I show up in my marketing and selling so more people know about me? What about my skill set? Here is an area where so many women in particular slow themselves down in their business growth because they mistakenly believe that when I have more certifications, when I know what I do better, right, then I'll be able to go out and market with confidence. And remember, my friend, the confidence comes at the end. The confidence does not come because you have 20 coaching certifications. Now, I'm one of these people who has 5 coaching certifications. I admit it. But my first money coaching certification I don't even remember how long ago it was anymore. I earned my certifications over a period of more than 10 years. I'm not in a certification program at the moment, and I don't know if I ever will be again, but I really do believe that I have enough. And even when I did, it was just to add more tools and skill set, but I was always out there marketing my business from the first day. My business really took a turn in 2019 when I signed up for the Tapping into Wealth certification with Margaret Lynch. She doesn't offer it anymore, but it was tapping, and it took a skill set that I had tapping, which I was already using with my clients, and it refined my skill set to focus specifically on money. And you know what? Before I finished that certification program, I was already using those tools and skills in my business to help my clients. I didn't wait for a piece of paper to say, Debbie Sasson, you are now certified as a tapping into wealth coach. I took what I had, and I always believed that what I had was enough for the level of clients that I was serving then. So really believe that you are enough with what you have now. And of course, you're going to go out and continue refining your skill set. You can ask yourself what else you need. And I want to emphasize need, not what else you want, but what else do you really, really need? And also believe at the same time that what you have today is enough. I know that you are a lifetime learner and you will continue to go out there and learn new things and refine your skill set. But don't let what you have today, what you only quote unquote have today, stop you from serving people today. So really ask yourself, where are you getting stuck? Where is your commitment to your client? And what do you need to really focus on to serve more people? The last part of commitment that I want to talk about is commitment to yourself. You, my friend, are the business owner. You need to be resourced. You need to sleep well. You need to have time in your calendar for your brain to think creatively about your clients. And that does not mean listen to podcasts. As much as I love you and want you to be here listening to my podcast, I also want you to do those journaling exercises. Like, don't just listen to them, but write them down, because that's the time where your brain gets creative. So where are you giving yourself brain space to think like the CEO of your business? It can't happen in 2 minutes a day. You need a little bit more time. Is it 20 minutes or 60 minutes or 2 hours? You be you and figure it out for yourself, but you need to give your brain time to unwind, decompress from the stresses of the day as a business owner, as a mom, as a wife, as a daughter, as a community member. You need to give yourself time, and you need to take care of your health and nourish your body with good food and with exercise, because a healthy mind, a healthy body, they're connected with each other. So where can you up-level your commitment to yourself? Write it down. So just quickly, we're now going to talk about the next 3 C's that Dan Sullivan talks about. One is courage. And I really think that we have spoken about courage. It's been woven into all of the commitment exercises. But I want to emphasize again that courage does not feel good. It feels horrible. It feels like you're going to die because you're going out there and you're doing new things. And that takes a lot of internal resources, which, by the way, is another reason why you need to be committed to yourself, to nourishing yourself and decompressing and getting yourself exercising. I have the best conversations with myself when I get out and go and walk for 60 minutes. And most of the time, I don't bring a podcast. I don't listen to anything. I'm just me and my head. God and I have a lot of amazing discussions when I'm out walking, but my brain can just let loose all the things. Where do you need to be more courageous on a day-to-day basis to show up for your clients, to show up for your business, to show up for yourself? And ask yourself, where am I letting fear slow me down? And be honest with yourself. Again, nobody is looking at your journaling, right? You might ask yourself also, where am I letting shame slow me down? If you have tried something in your business before and it has not yet worked, you might be feeling some shame about that. Or maybe you tried something, maybe you went out there. I was talking with one of my clients, coaching her about 6 months ago. And as she is growing her business, she has had people tell her, oh, right now you're growing your business. And there's sort of that little undertone of jealousy. And people can sort of reflect back to you, oh, now you think you're too good for us. Now you think you're better than us. Now you're making money. So listen, when you're making more money, you can no longer participate in those discussions about how inflation is raising prices, because you have the money to go to the grocery store and buy the things that you need without being stressed about your money all the time. You can be so much more confident and comfortable and calm and relaxed. And if you're not participating in those conversations, it could be that people will start judging you, or you might think that they're judging you. It might take courage from you not to participate in those discussions anymore. So where do you need courage to let people go, to show up more boldly, to offer your products and services to your clients? Where do you need to be more courageous around time boundaries? If you're letting your time morph into all hours of your day. You're letting your business morph into all hours of your day, committing to keeping a schedule, having these hours for work, these hours for home, these hours for exercise. Like that takes a lot of courage to set boundaries. Somebody reached out to me yesterday by WhatsApp. I had given her some coaching in the DMs on LinkedIn about setting boundaries with her clients because she had a client who was not honoring the boundaries, the agreement that they set out when they started working together. And she left me this beautiful, 2-3 minute WhatsApp message. Thank you so much. I set boundaries for my client. It took a few weeks. And in the beginning, the woman who reached out to me said it was so hard for her. She felt like the air was being sucked out of her when she set those boundaries. But it changed the relationship with her clients. And now she doesn't have to be in that sucky, draining relationship anymore. Now her courage to set firm boundaries is going to be so amazing for my LinkedIn client, my LinkedIn contact, and her client. So ask yourself, where am I letting fear of failure, fear of messing up, embarrassment, shame, where am I letting fear slow me down and stop me? And where do I need more courage? And then number 3 is capable. What do you want to be capable of your business that you don't yet feel capable of? That's a great question to ask yourself. Do you want to feel capable of having a sales conversation with a potential client? At the moment you don't feel capable, you feel on the phone, you're all wobbly. One of my clients joined Wired for Wealth in February, and I have an evaluation process that I teach my clients what worked, what didn't work, what do you want to do differently next time? And sometimes my clients will even send me their recordings and I listen to her recording. First of all, she had to be courageous and get over the shame and embarrassment of having me listen to her conversation. And she was wobbly, all over the place in her sales conversation, but learning the process of being very focused and not letting the person that you're on the sales call with, just talk all over the place, right? Eventually you become capable that you can do it. You might have some scripted questions sitting next to you, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's an amazing thing to do is have some scripted questions because you might be a little bit tense, especially in the beginning. So you want to remember what you want to ask people when they get on a sales call with you. And eventually you're just going to feel, oh yeah, I can do this. I'm capable. And then the final stage is, you have confidence. You get on sales calls with your potential clients and you know that 80% of them, 90% of them are going to say yes and they're going to work with you because your ability to show up and just go through that process smoothly. Again, remember the bike analogy. Look, mom, no hands. You can do those sales conversations and they're so much easier than they were just 2 months ago. It makes a huge difference. And then when you raise your prices or you have a new offer, you're going to get to go through the cycle all over again. Commitment, courage, capable, and confident. Before I end this episode, I want to bring a beautiful metaphor to you. And I don't know if this actually happened in real life, but it is the concept of burning the boats. And according to my buddy Google, the earliest incident of burn the boats was with Agathocles of Syracuse in 310 before the Common Era. I'm reading this to you. He allegedly burned his ships to prevent his troops from fleeing. And if you Google some more, you'll see that this concept of burning your boats was also connected with Alexander the Great, with Hernan Cortez when he went to discover the New World. But the concept is, if you are committed to your business, you burn the boats. You are not going to turn back. There is no plan B. You are going to figure out how to ride this bicycle. You are committed to figuring out how to build your business, how to create $100,000, $150,000, $500,000, $1 million in your business in service of the people whom God has divinely contracted you to work with. Where are you afraid of burning the boats? Because your fear of burning boats, your fear of not being able to move forward will have you always looking backwards, will have you always turning back. And we know what happened to the wife of Sodom, right? When she turned around and looked back, she turned into a pillar of salt. We know what happened when the Jews left Egypt, and so many of them complained that they should have stayed in Egypt. God was not very happy with us. Where are you holding on to visions of turning back? What do you want to change to be more committed to your business, to your people, to your future as we go into the new Jewish year? Really go deep and answer those questions. And I look forward to seeing you next week on the Jewish Entrepreneur Podcast. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining me today. There were so many valuable insights and questions, and I really do hope that you ask yourself those questions. And I want to remind you that on September 9th, I have a free masterclass called Meant for More. You will uncover the reasons why you are stopping yourself from moving forward. You will create a roadmap for building your business. You will know exactly what you need to do to grow your business in the last quarter of 2024 and into 2025. And you will find out why you are under-earning and commit to raising your prices, always in service of your people. Go to my website now, debbiesasson.com/more. Join me on Monday, September 9th. If you cannot be there live, you will get the replay. I look forward to seeing you there. Bye-bye for now. Thanks for listening to the Jewish Entrepreneur Podcast. If you want to stop underselling and under-earning and close more sales, you need to clear the limiting money beliefs that are sabotaging your business growth. Head on over to debbiesasson.com/mindset and download my free Money Mindset Workbook. Uncover and dissolve money blocks like hundreds of other entrepreneurs who are now building 6, multi-6, and 7-figure businesses and creating true financial freedom.